Hello and welcome to week 6, which is representing indigeneity through film. And the first film I'll be talking about is Beneath the Clouds by Evan Sen, and is a story of the struggle of two teenagers, both representing different identities yet share a common ground. Lena is half Aboriginal and half Irish, identifying mostly by her Irish background. And Von is an Aboriginal boy who is facing difficulties many Aboriginal youth face on a daily basis. Both teens are on a different journey in search for their identity. Lena is searching for her Irish father, and Von is going to visit his dying mother. Lena is very ashamed of being Aboriginal, and she associates being Aboriginal with social rejection, alcohol abuse, and crime. Being physically white allows Lena to reject her Aboriginal side and identify as being of European descent like her father, as there is the scene where she says, "It's where I belong," referring to her father and his heritage. Lena, being ashamed of her Aboriginal background, can be related back to colonialism and post-colonialism, as the issues associated with Aboriginals is a result of colonialism, such as the alcohol abuse and crime and the rejection is a result of colonialism. Colonialism also brought about a classification system, racism, and the mistreatment of Aboriginal people, and is actually shown through the two characters as on their journey. You can actually see Lena is treated very differently to Von, and that is a result of that. And you can also see the Aboriginal characters in the film were very troubled, and the white people were racist, and that is showing the two ends of the spectrum, and is also representing colonialism and post-colonialism, and how the whites and Aboriginals are kind of placed in next to each other. Also, what this movie kind of shed light on is how there are many forms of identity, and identity doesn't necessarily mean what is on the surface and what can be seen. It can come in many forms. So what I mean by that is Lena could have identified as an Aboriginal, yet even though she doesn't look Aboriginal from the outside, but she can still identify as being an Aboriginal woman. So what I mean by that is identity doesn't necessarily have to be what's on the surface, and this movie kind of shed light on that, and which I found very interesting. And so the next film, Way Rider by Nikki Caro, is a story of a young girl fighting to be recognised by her grandfather. Indigenous identity is central in this film. Within the post-colonial context, identity differs greatly from a pre-colonial context. The Indigenous culture is seen clashing with Western tradition. And you can see that the community is lacking a sense of direction and a kind of momentum, and that is a result of colonialism. Koro is the current leader who wants to uphold traditional roots and values, and is the reason why Paika is being rejected, as women traditionally do not become tribal leaders. Paika defies stereotypes, and in the end of the film is seen riding a whale, imitating her ancestor. This scene is very important as it represents Paika's desire to be recognised and represent her Indigenous identity. Post-colonialism has caused a disruption of many traditions and rituals. However, what this film is conveying is duality. And in a post-colonial society, there can be modern identities that represent both the traditional roots and the modern roots. So this film was really good. As I said, it represented duality, and it kind of combined the authentic Indigenous identity with the modern identity, which I thought was also very interesting.